Hi, hello, my name's Ollie Bliss and this is my channel Book Draw. I enjoy looking at queer fiction and occasionally I do some images. Today I'm having a bit of a break from that and instead I'm doing another tag. I've wanted to do this tag for a little while. This is the Todd Tag, and for those of you who don't know who Todd is, I highly encourage everyone to go out and view his channel. Todd the Librarian is hilarious. He does short, sharp, punchy little videos. He enjoys doing a lot of tag videos, but he also reviews predominantly horror and science fiction. Todd is also a writer himself, and he has released The Vulnerable Gods. I have recently purchased this one. I'm very excited to be checking this out in the new year. If I give a little reading off the back, the unearthing of a 60,000-year-old Neanderthal skull brings visions of a brilliant mechanism to one man, but he opens a doorway from the past and unleashes an extinct species of hominid upon the unsuspecting residents of a small Kentucky town. Now the town's law enforcement and its terrified citizens must grapple with time-travelling brute whose only goal is exterminated by the perceived gods that have entered into this ice-age world. This sounds like a total trip. If it's anything like Todd's personality, I'm sure I will be hooked all the way through. I also just want to shout out to Todd's wife, who I think is a legend. If you've ever watched Todd's channel, you will hear him make reference to what his wife is doing while he's making these videos. She enjoys gaming, which I just think is genius, and she also watches things like the X-Files, and she's also been putting up with Todd for some time.
I think she sounds awesome.
Anyway, let's get on with the tag. Have you ever regretted joining BookTube? Yes. Occasionally there are times when you just feel like I just can't be asked to upload any more material. I'm quite flaky, and there are times when I just want to sit on my ass and watch television, to be honest. What is the last theatre movie that you have walked out on? I have never done that. I've never walked out on a movie screening. The only film I could think where I've wanted to do that was What Women Want. That was just so dull. It was so dull, and it was so wrong, and it was so badly done. The next question is, what character do you remember the most? And you can't name a Harry Potter or Twilight characters. I am choosing Cherry Vanilla from Sarah. I will be doing a full review on this one in future, but basically Cherry Vanilla's mother, Sarah, she's a prostitute. Cherry wants to live the same lifestyle as Sarah. Cherry has a dream to become the most famous lot lizard, basically someone who is in an area where trucks park up and they go to a diner, have some food, and basically hook up with young women. And Cherry is 12 years old and has the designs to basically become the best in the parking lot area. But I don't know, it's something about this book I was really, really drawn to, and the character of Cherry has stayed with me. Probably lasted in my memory more so because of what the truth behind JT LeRoy was. At the time, it was described as a memoir, in terms of it actually happening, but then later on revealed some very interesting truths about who JT LeRoy is. I won't spoil that for now, you can research it yourself. I will be doing a full video on this in the new year. The next one is, which classic novel do you feel in tune with or identify with the main character the most? I chose The Heart of Darkness, which is a book by Joseph Conrad. Now this might seem like a bit of an odd choice, but as a classic story, I feel the themes within the story are something that's kind of stayed with me quite strongly and are quite difficult and complex to describe. The story focuses on two central characters, Marlowe and Kurtz, and it focuses on a trip over into the African Congo on a river trip, but it's actually exploring imperialism and the hypocrisy of what a civilized nation is. And for me, particularly in this moment in time, I feel like there is a lot of hypocrisy in our world, in our morality in our world, in the way in which we think and feel and act upon others. And I feel like The Heart of Darkness explores this in quite a poetic and insightful way. I definitely, as a classic book, feel like I can relate to some of those elements completely on an obscure level. Like like I have no relationship to the kind of actual narrative. I'm just discussing more like the thematics of what was happening then and how they can be laid over and represented in what is happening today, right now. The next one is, if you could meet anyone from history, who would it be? For me, I would really like to meet Plato. Plato was a Greek philosopher and has had some fundamental thoughts and views which still resonate and permeate and are relevant to today. And I would love to go back and see what it was like to live in that lifestyle in Greece and meet Plato and have these long kind of philosophical conversations with him and just get a real insight to his mind and brain. The next one is, the apocalypse strikes and you can only take one of your books into the wasteland with you. Which book do you take? I have no idea. One book would just seem really, really unfair. I would want something really nice and comforting, I think. I don't know how to answer that one. That feels like a trick question. Next one is, if you could write a masterpiece, what would your subject matter or genre of choice be? I'm not a writer, but I think the subject matter, it would be queer somewhere along the lines, obviously. If it was to be a masterpiece, I think it would have to be something explicitly unique and different, which is incredibly difficult and challenging, given that most things have already been discussed and repeat themselves. So maybe it'd be looking at that repetition of how stuff repeats itself, but in a unique way. The next one is, if you were a drink, what would you be? I think the drink that I would be is a Blue Moon, which is a pale ale based over in the Lakelands. It's actually a really delicate, nice beer, but it's very fragrant and tasty, and you can just lap it up. But the first time I tried it was when I was out in the Lake District. We had them and they were in these cooled glasses, and it was the most refreshing, delightful thing after a really long walk. So if I could be any drink, I would like to be something that emulated that refreshing, rejuvenating experience that I had after a severely long and challenging walk. The next one is, what is your favourite foreign language book? I think that's quite easy in terms of The Counterfeiters, which I have either recently done or will be doing, depending on when this goes up. It's all about the difference between something that's true and real and valuable against things which are cheap and easy and fragile. It creates a beautiful illustration between concepts which we hold as valuable and truthful and things which are false and unnecessary. The last one is, what separates us from other life forms on Earth? I guess it's just our consciousness, our self-awareness of who we are. Maybe not a lot. But anyway, that was Todd's Tag. I hope you've enjoyed some of the books which I've discussed. Please do go and check out Todd the Librarian if you already haven't. I will be back again soon with some more book reviews and some artwork. In the meantime, till then, take care. Bye!
Embrace the spirit of Todd.